The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Fräulein Noether was the most significant creative mathematical genius thus far produced since the higher education of women began. Force always attracts men of low morality, and I believe it to be an invariable rule that tyrants of genius are succeeded by scoundrels. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. Compassionate people are geniuses in the art of living, more necessary to the dignity, security, and joy of humanity than the discoverers of knowledge. Genius is making complex ideas simple, not making simple ideas complex. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. Make everything as simple as possible, but not simpler. A man should look for what is, and not for what he thinks should be. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. A question that sometimes drives me hazy. Am I or are the others crazy? Any intelligent fool can make things bigger and more complex. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. All religions, arts, and sciences are branches of the same tree. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems. A true genius admits that he knows nothing. I'm not a genius. I'm just passionately curious. Genius abhors consensus because when consensus is reached, thinking stops. Stop nodding your head. I am not a genius. I am just curious. I ask many questions. And when the answer is simple, then God is answering. Highly developed spirits often encounter resistance from mediocre minds. Today we must abandon competition and secure cooperation. This must be the central fact in all our considerations of international affairs. Otherwise we face certain disaster. Past thinking and methods did not prevent world wars. Future thinking must prevent wars. The stakes are immense, the task colossal, the time is short. But we must hope, that man's own creation, man's own genius will not destroy him. The religious geniuses of all ages have been distinguished by this kind of religious feeling, which knows no dogma and no God conceived in man's image, so that there can be no church whose central teachings are based on it. Hence it is precisely among the heretics of every age that we find men who were filled with this highest kind of religious feeling and were in many cases regarded by their contemporaries as atheists, sometimes also as saints. Looked at in this light, men like Democritus, Francis of Assisi, and Spinoza are closely akin to one another. The definition of genius is taking the complex and making it simple. Genius is when an idea and the execution of that idea are simultaneous. An autocratic system of coercion, in my opinion, soon degenerates. For force always attracts men of low morality, and I believe it to be an invariable rule that tyrants of genius are succeeded by scoundrels. For this reason I have always been passionately opposed to systems such as we see in Italy and Russia today. The stakes are immense, the task colossal, the time is short. But we must hope, that man's own creation, man's own genius will not destroy him.